to improve maintenance and to improve operational efficiency. And this is not theory, I mean, this is practice. I mean, we have lead mine in more than 60 fleets. We are talking about almost 2,000 trains. We started almost 20 years ago censoring wheels, so we have a track record dealing with data, and we use that in order to design better vehicles, lighter vehicles, to improve energy management in the train, and also in close cooperation with our customers to optimize driving patterns. So it's not only about efficiency, it's also about lower emissions, and we, based on this platform, we also improve maintenance. We go into predictive maintenance, to CVM, condition-based maintenance, in order to prevent, to anticipate and prevent failures, which is that give us give to the customer, to the operator, the chance to a better allocation of resources to reduce downtime. So we are leveraging on these technologies of Internet of Things data, advanced analytics, in order to really get tangible benefits. So that's important. Tangible benefits is about lower maintenance costs, it's better maintenance, it's about improved fleet, it's about also about operational efficiency. But it's not only about the design and the maintenance of trains, it goes far away. I mean, we are in the business of the advanced signaling system, both in mainline and in metro, and we use real-time data and adaptive control mechanisms in order to really improve operational frequency and to improve safety, which is very important for our customers. And we also are working in this digital world in intelligent positioning and also in obstacle detection technology, which is very important also to operate better the network. So I think the industry as a whole, we must accelerate this digital transformation. I think it's key. And I want to finish this point, to highlight that this is not only about technology, it's also about the quality of data, and it's also about the legal framework and the secure data platforms to share this data. And it's not only about technology, it's also about people. And I think we have really a challenge in education and training, upskilling people, because this is not, as said, only about technology. Technology needs a human oversight.
Thank you. I think, again, a really good answer. And I like the way that you guys are clearly being very, I guess, relying on data for getting tangible results and benefits rather than looking at the subjective. So making sure you're being really informed by the data you have, because there's so much data that's out there now. Is how do you really get that without getting data paralysis, right? So it's making the right decisions with what you have. So really interesting. Thank you. Next, I'm going to come to yourself on the end, Jean-Charles. So with the increasing complexity of major projects, and it seems like they're getting forever more complex lately, how is Sistra leveraging digital tools to improve project management and also improve stakeholder collaboration?
Thank you. First, good afternoon, everyone, and thanks, Sar, for the invitation, particularly Dr. Bashar, for this great event. Yes, we talk a lot about digital. Engineers have been digitalized, or partially digitalized in the last 10 years in our railway industry. It has been a major step, and it was more a necessity, I would say, because there was a huge amount of projects were getting more complicated, lack of resources. You talk about people. It's one of the reasons why we needed to digitalize our processes, being more efficient, faster, better quality, etc. So that was the first reason of digitalization in terms of engineering. The second one was the need of having more efficiency in our projects as a whole. So the relationship between the stakeholders and the BIM, and everybody talks about BIM, but the BIM main reason was about managing the projects, managing the data, putting everyone on the same platform and being able to take decisions. So putting all the stakeholders in the same field and with the ability to take the right decision. So that was the first step. The last 10 years has seen tremendous changes in the railway industry. Now we're entering into the second step, which will to how to use this data and how to connect this, I would say, static data that we have created through engineering, through BIM, etc., in a more dynamic way. And that's where, of course, the virtual asset starts. Is how we will be able to connect the infrastructure, the real infrastructure, the rolling stock, all the components into, and the data we are collecting from there into the general model of the projects. And there's immense opportunities with that. It's very complex. We are just at the start, but you mentioned about how to manage the data is really the core. But with this, we'll be able to see how an infrastructure reacts to a change of rolling stock, to a change of operation, how we anticipate the maintenance as a whole, and that's really the next step for all of us. So there's a lot of work to be done. We are just at the start. Sistra is doing, for example, a POC for Etihad Railways in UAE, but this is the start and this is the future. But again, I agree with my colleague from CAF. At the end, it's also a matter of regulation and how we're managing the data. Maybe the complexity will not come from the technical side, but more for the managerial and regulatory side.
Thank you. Again, I think, you're echoing similar points about the importance of data and how it's leveraged and how you apply that information and knowledge. So, again, really important points. Alvaro, I want to come back to you, if I may, with a slight expansion, I guess, on the first question. How is Renfe leveraging data and digital solutions to improve your passenger experience? You mentioned about how making ticketing more affordable, but what about things like seamless ticketing to onboard connectivity and real-time information as well?
Yes, we now just are implementing a great investment to renovation the sales system and the ticketing system to our clients. We think that the experience with us begins when the people go to buy a ticket, and we won't do that very easy for them, like 2 clicks, and they have all the alternatives in one site. And then we want that this ticket travel with the traveler, and was also the way when we communicate the incidents, the change, the delays, and the things that they need to take a decision if something goes not well. Also, we are a platform of mobility as a service that led to the people to planning and also to purchase and to buy the ticket with multi-operator. We are in contact with bus operator, taxi, public transport in the cities, and metropolitan and regional operator, and they can take all the travel door to door with different several operators with our platform. And at least I think that in this world where the digitalization and the technology is around everywhere, probably the human contact is more important than ever with our users, travelers, and clients. And we have also recovering the face-to-face, because I am really convinced that there are problems that mobile don't solve, but smiley people together to you face-to-face can do it.
Perfect, thank you. Again, I think you're echoing similar things to what Dr. Bashar said earlier around about how the seamless ticketing and multi-platform use and having it all in one place to, I guess, improve passenger efficiency and use as well. So again, really important to help get people back on board trains more so globally at least. For my next question, Dr. Bashar, I'd like to come to you. So with railways being a real key enabler for driving net zero emissions, can you tell us about the role that SARS trains have in this regard, and how your networks contribute to reducing emissions and advancing sustainable transport across the kingdom?
Sure. Thank you for the question. Let's first agree that rail transport is the most sustainable mode of transport, at least in my opinion. And if you would, guys, ladies and gentlemen, agree, then every passenger, every piece of good that we are transferring by rail is a contribution to a more sustainable environment. At SAR, by operating this huge network in the kingdom, we are supporting the national target to achieve net zero by 2060, inshallah. In 2024 alone, we have moved over 14 million vehicles from our road networks. We have saved over 100 million liters of oil. We have also saved over 350 tons of CO2 emissions. This is only what we did in 24, and this is why I think national Al-Ula tram, expanding our Riyadh metro capacity, and land bridge project, GCC connections, and many others, including an ongoing project to expand our existing freight and mining network as well. This is what we're doing today, but we're in addition advancing our investment and R&D activities toward even more environmental friendly operation. We have tested hydrogen trains as well here locally, and we're assessing this and evaluating even further adopting such technologies. Also, we're utilizing solar power in many of our assets, including many of our GSMR towers across the kingdom and so on. So to us, this is a very important part of our activities. We believe that we are obligated to support this national objective where less carbon emissions are being developed, and to support a greener nation and
a complex endeavor wherever the market it is, and it needs always, I would say, innovation, adaptability, and technical excellence. I think, generally speaking, we always face a very tight deadlines, very strict schedules, so we need very strong, very efficient project management and execution, and it's not easy. I mean, you are people from the railway industry, so you know what I'm talking about. Each market has its own set of regulation and technical specs, so you have to deal with that, and you have also to integrate in the existing infrastructure, because seamless compatibility is needed for operational efficiency. So I think that's two challenges that we face everywhere. Occasionally, we face, let's say, very challenging geographical terrains or harsh climatic conditions, which is the case in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Dr. Bashar, the SAR team, our team, we know very well how really demanding is, how harsh is are the conditions here. And it's not only about the design of the train, it's also about the technology you put on the train in order to guarantee resilience and to guarantee long-term performance. There are other challenges. We are linked to the competitors. If we all play with the same rules or whatever about the allocation of risk in the industry, but I think we need another panel to talk about that. So I think going to the point of the quality, Aaron, I would say that the levers are advanced engineering, local expertise, efficient and strong project management, and I would say overall a culture. I mean, you need people who is really committed to really quality and performance. People, and I agree with with the president of Renfe people, it's very important.
Thank you. We've only got a couple of minutes left, so, but Jean, Charles, I want to come back to you quickly, then I have one surprise question at the end that no one's expecting. How does Sistra approach the integration of sustainability and life cycle analysis into the design phase of major transport projects to ensure a greener outcome?
No. We, when I say we, the railway industry, we are quite privileged because we are in an industry which is classified as sustainable. We can classify as sustainable. What does that mean? First, we need to design projects that have the least impact on the environment. So that's the whole work that has been done again in the last 10, 15 years, measuring the impact, being able to measure the impact of our projects, carbon footprint, for example, considering the holistic, having an holistic view on the projects, including from the basic alignment to the equipment, rolling stock, etc. So today we are able to evaluate alternatives from beginning stage, from the early stage, the strategic stage, and measure the impact, what will be the impact, the overall impact of the project on the environment. So we think there are tools for that. Engineering companies like Sistra will develop specific tool. Sistra is Carbon Tracker that allows you to really measure and decide, help the decision maker to take the right decision from the beginning on the impact on the environment. The second aspect, which is, I would say, much more complex, is to measure or to evaluate the impact of the environment on the projects. And then we start to talk about resilience. It's about sustainability of the project in the long term, ability to deliver service to the passengers, service to the goods, transportation of goods, etc., without interruption. And that's much more complex because it's not defined. There's no real codes or standards yet. There are predictions. So Sistra, we have a specific tool also to measure, to evaluate the future development of the climate in some areas around the world. So being able to evaluate what will be the temperature range change, what will be the flooding risk, etc., and integrate it into the design. And that's really the future, is to be able to integrate all of this into the design from stage one. And that's the most complex part. Look at the floods that happened in Dubai last year, in UAE, in April. The metro was flooded with a huge interruption, and nobody could predict it before. So how in the future we can integrate from the beginning this climate change and the climate behavior change in our design and the whole projects.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. I have one final question, which Dr. Passar, I'm going to come to you for. It's a little bit of a surprise, but it's more for the people here so they can hear more of an insight from yourself and your thoughts and feelings. So there's two parts to this question. The first one is, what do you feel about this amazing event this year? And then the second part to the question is, what are you looking forward to for the next event in 2027?
Well, thank you. I think it's a great event and a very successful one, and your contribution, all as participants, as colleagues who have made the effort to travel, especially those coming from abroad, have really made a difference. So thank you so much all for your participation, the partnership we're developing or have developed over the years, and I'm sure this will be a great platform in the future as well to make partnership, to make new deals, to network with your industry colleagues and maybe beyond, for the best of the industry and everyone working on such. I'm looking forward for 2027 to host you all again and hopefully see more members and more companies also participating in this great event. So thank you so much all.
I think that then leaves me to bring this to a close and to firstly thank all of you guys here for providing these really great insights and answers into the importance of innovation and how the rail sector is moving forward. I think you've given some really important stuff for people to take away. And secondly, to thank everyone for coming to sit and listen as well for the last 30 minutes. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
So our panelists for that interesting discussion on rolling stock and digital innovation. And moving on, we now come to consider new regulatory frameworks, which are obviously required for digital innovation and for new rail systems. So the next interview will provide a crucial international perspective on regulatory excellence and the management of railway safety, offering key takeaways for the region as it builds out